theme of our satellite session is support, don't punish. And what that's calling for is for drug policies that support people who use drugs in their community and don't punish them. For example, by imposing criminal penalties for drug use with very minor, low-level, non-violent drug offences, compulsory registration for people who use drugs, and compulsory detention as a form of treatment. So instead of providing those kind of punitive measures, imposing them on drug use, let's support them with essential life-saving services they need. Let's not focus on trying to reduce the size of the drug market. Let's not try to suppress the use and the supply of drugs, because we've done that. We've done that for several decades now, and it has not worked. We've only seen the use and the supply and the trafficking of drugs go up, and the drug market diversify and expand. We now have a greater range of drugs than ever before, and they're quite cheaply and readily available. That approach has not worked, and it not only has failed, has led to a wide range of extremely negative consequences, and particularly for people who use drugs, and particularly for poor, marginalised communities who find themselves involved in the drug trade due to usually a lack of opportunity. So we're saying instead, let's look at the harms of drug markets and let's try to tackle and address and manage those harms instead of trying to do something that has not worked for so long. I think this region does stand out as having particularly harsh laws. Virtually every country in the region, with the exception of Philippines and Brunei actually, have the death penalty for drug offences, and sometimes for possessing quite minor quantities. And this is something that underpins an incredibly punitive approach to drug use. It's incredibly moralised, it's a heavily politicised issue, so it's difficult to encourage open debate on alternative approaches to drug policy. We would recognise that you can never completely eradicate the use and the supply of drugs. So let's be innovative in coming up with the different alternative approaches to using drugs. Let's accept that some people would choose to use drugs for a wide variety of reasons. And let's look at what kind of harms that might lead to. It doesn't always lead to harms, but let's look at how we can manage those harms instead of stamping them out and treating these people as social pariahs. I think the connections between HIV and drug control policies is not well integrated or connected at the regional level, and there's definitely scope to do that, and I think ASEAN could do that. There's also, say, a global body called the Global Commission on Drug Policy, and some of us had talked about before about the possibility of having a regional level commission on drug policy that could promote and the development of a harm reduction strategy for the region.